Daybreak Africa is your one-stop top-notch breakfast show that brings you all the interesting stories happening in and around Africa.
Because we have all the morning essentials,
including the latest news, sports, weather, and events. And of course, the people.
Daybreak Africa on Television Nigerian.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Daybreak Africa is your one-stop top-notch breakfast show that brings you all the interesting stories happening in and around Africa.
Because we have all the morning essentials,
including the latest news, sports, weather, and events. And of course, the people.
Daybreak Africa on Television Nigerian.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
All right, good morning everyone. Good morning Nigeria, good morning Abuja, good morning Africa. My name is Messi Joe. Thanks for joining us this morning.
And my name is Elvis Oga. Of course, it is another bright and beautiful morning right here in our Abuja studio. I hope we had a beautiful night trust. Good morning, Message Joe.
Definitely. Good morning. I mean, it's very...
It's been a minute.
It's been an hour. It's been a day.
It's been some days.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome, partner. So how's everything been?
Yeah, super good.
Super good.
Yeah, good to have you back on set. Yesterday I was hoping of joining you, but due to some circumstances, I couldn't.
I know.
But it feels so good linking up with you this morning.
All right. Yeah, it's always a very good vibe each and every other day. So schools have resumed now.
Yes, finally
today.
Yeah.
And then, some states were actually saying that they should conduct tests for the pupils as they are coming back to school. But then the PTF said it's not necessary for them to actually do all those tests, that rather what they should actually think of doing is just watch out for symptoms.
Exactly.
If they are exhibiting any symptoms.
If you want to look at it from so many perspectives, you might not want to fault the people that say the test might not be necessary, because you look at COVID-19 has some incubation period before it starts manifesting. So what happens if peradventure this person got contracted yesterday, you conduct the test today, the test shows negative, and then after 14 days while in school, you have the case prop up, and then even schools that have actually resumed from other countries with better health system, they will report of community transmission in schools as major concern. So that's one part of it. But the other part of it is when the school authorities were actually asking for parents to pay a huge sum of money for the test, 25,000 naira.
And I think some private schools actually declined that testing. But then, talking about this, are we trying to now say that it won't be out of place if, just as when they were bringing back evacuees into the country, they have to be like under 2 weeks or 14 days, what they call the isolation
period?
Is it going to be out of place to say the pupils, as they're coming to school, they should also be put aside in some isolation centers to make sure that they are actually...
The school is already an isolated environment, so just for them to do proper monitoring of the students when they're back in schools, then watch out for the symptoms.
The school already an isolation?
Yeah, these children are already in isolation. They are not part of the general community by going back to school. Recall that everybody that is going back to school is all examination classes. So I think monitoring these children and then looking after them will be a bit easier, because they are not part of the main community.
Yeah, like checking if they are actually exhibiting any of the symptoms. Exactly. And then hopefully they hadn't come in contact with their parents directly. One way to have contracted the virus, because it's really the elderly ones that this thing is affecting. Yeah. And then some other parastatals and other bodies are actually still saying they really don't feel safe with saying the children should be back in school, whether it's for the examinations or for whatever. You understand? But then, I mean, life has to go on. We have to move forward. Moving forward, this is the new cool, so we have to be in it.
That's more like one way of trying to live with the virus, because it seems the virus is not leaving anytime soon. So we've seen different countries adopted so many method and so many model of trying to live with the virus. So I don't think it would be a nice idea if we stay put and then we just get left behind when the world is actually moving.
We won't get left behind. The world is moving fast. All right, talking about world moving fast, I mean, ShopRite yesterday, there are rumors that it's going to be shutting down in Nigeria and leaving Nigeria. But no, they came out to say, no, that's not the case, that they are just opening for investors in Nigeria because they're thinking of expansion. That's just what's happening.
I saw that clarifications, and then what came to my mind was the period when there was some series of xenophobic attacks against Nigerians in South Africa, and there were a series of calls for people trying to drag ShopRite in and all. But that period when people looked at it, they were like, okay, if we're asking these people to leave now, we should watch it very well before it ends up being more like a case of we shooting ourselves on the foot or on the feet, because most of the populations of the workers happens to be Nigerians, which actually are taken out of the unemployed proportion or unemployed numbers.
So imagine the number of persons that will be unemployed by the time they will be out.
You get. So when I saw that news yesterday, I was rattled a little bit until I saw that clarification. I'll be like, okay, that's good. It's actually opening more votes to our investors, and then see how we can have more stake and have more say, as well as shares when it has to do with ShopRite.
Because when I saw the rumor, the only thing that first came to my head, that if it's actually true that they're leaving Nigeria, I was like, what's impact? Like, what's the implication? The implication the impact only falls back at the workers.
Yes.
Not actually people in Nigeria, because we have lots of malls.
I saw a particular tweet concerning this subject matter from Senator Shehu Sani yesterday, and he said if they want to stay, they can stay, but if they want to go, they can go.
True.
That it will even help local shops or local retailers to actually
sell
more and all. And then when, several times when they after seeing that clarification that, okay, it's going to be more investors, and then see who backs the highest shareholder, and then probably the person might call the shot when it has to do with ShopRite. And one thing that came to my mind was when we tend to see some of these changes, we sometimes see that they happen to be some name change, and we know how significant names are when it has to do with business. And then I was looking at all the coziness and the frenzy that actually accompany ShopRite, and
because in Nigeria we have this way of, when you go into somewhere that is not in Nigeria, or that is not Nigerian owned, we enter like, no be Nigeria own them, get them now. No be Nigeria, get them now. So you see, there's always a difference.
Yeah.
You see, when you enter ShopRite, the way it's always cool
and then
maintained, clean, and all of that. That's what's making
like you said,
unique.
we tend to look at it with a very, very different eye. And also, according to my research, I saw that there are actually about 3 bidders that are really warming up to take over. One being the favorite, and then the remaining 2 pushing real hard. And I'm looking at, okay, if they should change the name, the new name, are Nigerians going to buy into it? That frenzy.
Can't it be like a franchise that the name still remains the same?
We're actually looking at all of that. So maybe the people, you can actually go buy shares so that you bring that up in the board meeting.
When you buy the share, I will follow you.
That's nice.
All right. I mean, let's not go further with so much talk. I mean, Susan has a lot of news for us this morning, and I'm sure we can pick 1 or 2 from that. Even you yourself can pick 1 or 2 from that. So let's go to the news desk to get news from Susan Action.
There are a lot of false information about the coronavirus. These are the facts. People of all ages can be affected by the coronavirus. However, older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as asthma, diabetes, heart diseases are more vulnerable to the disease. It is not for old people alone. Gargling salt and warm water or chewing garlic and ginger cannot prevent the virus. Drinking alcohol, hot lemon, palm oil or chloroquine will not kill the virus. The virus cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. Antibiotics do not work against the viruses. Antibiotics work only against bacteria. Boiling pineapple peels, lime and ginger does not kill the virus. Putting raw onions in rooms will not ward off the virus. Using or spraying Dettol, special oils and water all over your body cannot kill the virus. There is no scientific evidence that cooking, drinking, or eating any of these is an effective treatment for coronavirus. Do not self-medicate, and take responsibility by sharing only verified messages from health authorities such as NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health, and WHO.
Now the match don't start. Tunde na him first catch coronavirus. Him pass am to Sarah. Sarah go market and she dash Adamu. Adamu carry the virus run, come give him children for house. Now so the children carry the virus enter playground. From playground, it can't enter grandpa body. Grandpa take over, pass and give him friends as they shake hand for road. Now so grandpa friends carry coronavirus go their house. So before you know, they don't throw away and give everybody for yard. Now so corona enter box 18 and he say goal! My people, if we give coronavirus chance, it go win all of us. Protect yourself and your family. Stay inside your house and make sure say you dey wash your hand with soap and water at least 12 times a day. If you get cough and fever and it dey hard you to breathe, call 0800 026 7662. Corona dey kill. Make we careful o.
My name is Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter of Television Nigerian Business Daily. In a globalizing world, ours is to keep you engaged, informed, and educated on contemporary happenings in the business world. We therefore command a special audience of business-minded viewers who are eager to know more about business and your business. Why don't you take advantage of our special affordable offer to let the world know about your concepts, your goods, and of course, your services? You can call us on 080-3071-69 6959 or 070-3234-9054. You can also visit us at Television Nigerian in Guzapi, Abuja, and follow us on all our social media handles on Facebook, YouTube, and of course on Twitter at Television Nigerian. Your business is our concern. My name is Chiwendu Osisiago, presenter at Television Nigerian Business Daily. In a globalizing world, ours is to keep you engaged, informed, and educated on contemporary happenings in the business world. We therefore command a special audience of business-minded viewers who are eager to know more about business. I mean, your business. Why don't you take advantage of our special affordable offer to let the world know about your concepts, your goods, and of course, your services? You can call us on 080-3071-6959 or 070-3234-9054.
Good morning and welcome to AM News. I am Susan Achin. Nigeria has recorded 288 more cases of the novel coronavirus, bringing its total infections to 44,129. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) disclosed this on Monday night via Twitter. According to the health agency, the new infections were recorded in Lagos, the Federal Capital Territory, and 13 other states of the Federation. While Lagos topped the list with 88 new cases, the FCT reported 25 fresh infections. On a positive note, the country has been able to manage the coronavirus after successfully discharging 20,663 persons said to have recovered from the COVID-19. However, 8 new deaths were reported, thus bringing the total number of fatalities to 896. Air Peace has sacked scores of pilots across its fleet and have slashed staff salaries by up to 40%. This was confirmed on Monday by the airline spokesman, Mr. Stanley Olise. According to Mr. Olise's statement, the retrenchment and shedding of staff is not unlinked with the economic devastation wrought by the COVID-19 pandemic. Describing the sacking as a painful but rightful decision, the airline's management said the cutbacks were necessary to ensure that Air Peace survives the hardship of the times. The spokesman's communique further stressed that the decision was inevitable under the circumstances. Now, one of the presidential candidates in the 2020 elections of the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA), Dele Additional, has asked the body of trustees of the association to cancel the just concluded polls. In his 11-page petition to the body, Additional described the election as an electronic fraud, illegal and unconstitutional. The elections were conducted electronically from July 29th to July 30th, at the end of which the immediate past chairman of the NBA section on business law, Olumide Akpata, emerged the winner, defeating Dr. Babatunde Ajibade and Mr. Dele Additional. And on to the entertainment scene, the lockdown season of the Big Brother Naija officially has its first male head of house, following Ozo's win as the Monday night head of house games. Ozo's win comes in the third week of the game, and surprisingly with no ties, unlike the past two, which saw Nengi and Lucy emerge winners respectively. For his deputy, Ozo selected Dorothy in what seemed like a difficult choice for him. Although his selection barely comes as a surprise, seen as the pair have created a friendly bond over the past weeks, his attraction to Nengi put him in a dicey place. And of course, the new head of house and his deputy are immune from this week's eviction and will enjoy the luxuries of the HOH lounge. And that's it on AM News. I am Susan Achin. Daybreak Africa will return shortly. Stay with us.
Now the match don't start. Tunde na him first catch coronavirus. Him pass am to Sarah. Sarah go market and she dash Adamu. Adamu carry the virus run, come give him children for house. Now so the children carry the virus enter playground. From playground, it can't enter grandpa body. Grandpa take over, pass and give him friends as they shake hand for road. Now so grandpa friends carry coronavirus go their house. Before you know, they don't throw away and give everybody for yard. Now so corona enter box 18 and he say go! My people, if we give coronavirus chance, it go win all of us. Protect yourself and your family. Stay inside your house and make sure say you dey wash your hand with soap and water at least 12 times a day. If you get cough and fever and it dey hard you to breathe, call 0800 026 7662. Corona dey kill. Make we careful oh.
There are a lot of false information about the coronavirus. These are the facts. People of all ages can be affected by the coronavirus. However, older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as asthma, diabetes, heart diseases are more vulnerable to the disease. It is not for old people alone. Gargling salt and warm water or chewing garlic and ginger cannot prevent the virus. Drinking alcohol, hot lemon, palm oil or chloroquine will not kill the virus. The virus cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. Antibiotics do not work against the viruses. Antibiotics work only against bacteria. Boiling pineapple peels, lime and ginger does not kill the virus. Putting raw onions in rooms will not ward off the virus. Using or spraying Dettol, special oils and water all over your body cannot kill the virus. There is no scientific evidence that cooking, drinking or eating any of these is an effective treatment for coronavirus. Do not self-medicate and take responsibility by sharing only verified messages from health authorities such as NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health and WHO.
All right, welcome back. This is still Daybreak Africa, and you're listening to those juicy news from Susan Achira there. Well, I'll take you to our next package, which is the news across Africa.
All right, so let's take news across Africa.
Yes.
All right. News.
To another episode of Healthy Living. Today's topic is stress management. Stress management. If you're living with high level of stress, you are putting your entire well-being at risk. Stress wreaks havoc on your emotional equilibrium as well as your physical health. It narrows your ability to think clearly, function effectively, and enjoy life. Effective stress management, on the other hand, helps you break the whole stress has on your life, so you can be happier, healthier, and more productive. The following stress management tips can help you do that. 1. Identify the source of stress in your life. Do you define stress as an integral part of your work or home life, or as a part of your personality? Do you blame your stress on other people or outside events, or view it as entirely normal and unexceptional? Until you accept responsibilities for the role you play in creating or managing it, your stress level will remain outside your control. Secondly, practice the 4 A's of stress management, which are avoid, alter, adapt, and accept. Avoid unnecessary stress. Learn how to say no. Know your limits and stick to them, whether in your personal or professional life. Taking no more than you can handle is a software recipe for stress. Distinguish between the shoulds and the musts, and when possible, say no to taking on too much. Avoid people who stress you out. Analyze your schedules, responsibilities, and daily tasks. Alter the situation. If you can't avoid a stressful situation, try to alter it. Often, this involves changing the way you communicate and operate in your daily life. Express your feelings instead of bottling them up. Create a balanced schedule. All work and no play is a recipe for burnout. Try to find a balance between work, family, life, social activities, and solitary pursuits. Daily responsibilities and downtime. Adapt to the stressor. If you can't change the stressor, change yourself. You can adapt to stressful situations and regain your sense of control by changing your exceptions and attitude. Adjust your standard. Perfectionism is a major source of affordable stress. Stop setting yourself up for failure by demanding perfection. Set responsible standard for yourself and others and learn to be okay with good enough. Practice gratitude when stress is getting you down. Take a moment to reflect on all the things you appreciate in your life, including your possible qualities and gifts. This simple strategy can help you keep things in perspective. Accept the things you can't change. Some sorts of stress are unavoidable. You can't prevent or change stressor, such as death of loved ones, a serious illness, or a national recession. In such cases, the best way to cope with stress is to accept things the way they are. Acceptance may be difficult, but in the long run, it's easier than ruling against a situation you can change. Third tip, get moving when you are stressed. The last thing you possibly feel like doing is getting up and exercise. But physical activities is a huge stress reliever, and you don't have to be an athlete or spend hours in the gym to exercise the benefits. Exercise releases endorphins that make you feel good, and it can also serve as a valuable distraction from your daily worries. Put on some music and dance around. Fourth tip, connect to others. There is nothing more calming than spending quality time with another human being who makes you feel safe and understood. In fact, face-to-face interaction triggers the cascade of hormones that counteract the body's defensive fight or flight response. It's nature's natural stress reliever. As an added bonus, it also helps stave off depression and anxiety. So make it a point to connect regularly and in person with family and friends. Fifth tip, make time for fun and relaxation. Beyond a take-charge approach and a positive attitude, you can reduce stress in your life by carving out me time. Don't get so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life that you forget to take care of your own needs. Nourishing yourself is necessity, not a luxury. If you regularly make time for fun and relaxation, you'll be in a better place to handle life's stressor. Sixth tip, manage time better. Poor time management can cause a lot of stress. It's hard to stay calm and focused. The good news there is there are things you can do to achieve a healthier work life. Don't overcommit yourself. Avoid scheduling things back to back or trying to fight too much into one day. All too often, we underestimate how long things will take. Seventh tip, maintain balance with a healthy lifestyle. In addition to regular exercise, there are other healthy lifestyle choices that can increase your resistance to stress. Eat a healthy diet. Well-nourished bodies are better prepared to cope with stress, so be mindful of what you eat. Start your day with a great breakfast and keep your energy up and your mind clear with balance. Nutritious meals throughout the day. Avoid alcohol, cigarettes, and drugs. Get enough sleep. Adequate sleep fuels your mind as well as your body. Feeling tired will increase your stress because it may cause you to think irrationally. 8. Learn to relieve stress in the moment. The fastest way to reduce stress is by taking the deep breath and using your senses. What you see, hear, taste, and touch, or through a subtle movement, by viewing a favorite photo or movie, listening to your favorite piece of music. Remember, not all illness are caused by diseases, and not all illness need medicine. All you need to do is to have a happy soul, a happy mind, and always laugh and be happy. Thank you for watching today's episode.
Welcome to News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. 15 militia men have been sentenced to 20 years in prison, announced the Congolese military court on Wednesday for their participation in a political uprising in Ituri in the northeastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2019. One militiaman was acquitted for lack of evidence. Claudine Makusi, a female victim of the militia men, expressed her wishes, in quote, "We ask those who are acquitted to tell those who collaborated with the militia to disassociate themselves so that everything that is happening in Jugu stops and that the violence really stops," end quote. 13 of the condemned are of the ethnic mystical sect Cooperative for the Development of Congo, also known as CODECO, while the other 2 are members of the Patriotic Integrationist Forces of Congo. Active in the territory of Jugu, located in the north of Bunia, the provincial capital of Ituri, members of the CODECO group claim to defend members of the Lundu community since December 2017, according to a political analysis report published this month by the international crisis group. The violence in Ituri province since December 2017 has left nearly 1,000 people dead and 500,000 displaced. These are crimes against humanity, according to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Michelle Bachelet. Between 1999 and 2003, the Ituri region had been ravaged by a conflict between militias from the 2 communities, Lendu and Hema, which was exploited by neighboring Uganda. Now, Beyonce's Black is King visual album was released Friday on the Disney Plus platform. Praised for its attempt to edify the global collective of Afro people, the project has also received criticism for its monolithic portrayal of Africa. In light of the recent global revival of the Black Lives Matter movement, the underlying message of Black self-love through the embrace of African heritage comes at an appropriate time. Nevertheless, and despite features from notable African artists such as Nigeria's Yemi Alade, South Africa's Busiswa, and Ghana's Shatawale, some Africans are unimpressed by the American singer's efforts, viewing her depiction of the continent as more imaginary and Wakanda-esque than based on the real and rich continental diversity that Africa holds, an image that could do more harm than good. The Austin-born artist has, according to her detractors, delivered a distorted and amalgamated vision of Africa. Now, Zimbabwe's MDC spokeswoman Fazai Mahere and renowned author Titi Dangeremba were arrested while protesting against a perceived corrupt government on alleged grounds of disturbing the peace. Fazai Mahere, an advocate of the Movement for Democratic Change Alliance, Zimbabwe's main opposition party, was arrested at a police station in central Harare following anti-government protests. 6 other people, including prominent author Titi Dangeremba, were arrested on Friday as hundreds of police officers sought to put a stop to the protests. Mike also claimed that the arrests were made on the grounds of a violation of Section 37 of the Criminal Law Codification and Reform Act on allegations that the rally was intended to incite public violence and disturb the peace. The authorities banned the demonstrations, which were aimed at alleged state corruption and the country's economic stagnation, which coincided with the 2nd anniversary of the disputed election of President Emerson. The protest organizers state that the original intention was to call out perceived government corruption, but ultimately resulted in targeting the ruling political party using the hashtag ZANU-PF-MUST-GO. The European Union unveiled on Thursday the launch of a 2-year training program for security forces in the Central African Republic. The program will be led by Head of Mission Colonel Paulo Soares, whose expertise in security after 25 years of experience will be of great help to develop Central African forces. The main mission of the program will be to deliver support to the police and army forces and enable them to move with ease across the country. After close to 2 decades of political instability and insecurity in the Central African Republic, peacekeeping is essential to ensure development in the country. The mission will be conducted alongside international forces, the UN mission in country, and the European Union training mission in Central African Republic. The number of murders and sexual offenses have both increased in South Africa according to the latest set of statistics released by the authorities. In the 2019 to 2020 period, there were 21,325 murders in the country, amounting to more than 2 murders an hour. That is 1.4% increase on the previous 12-month figures. The sexual offenses rose by 1.7% with more than 53,000 crimes in this category recorded. There has been growing anger in the country over the level of violence against women, and these figures will not ease those concerns. Police Minister Becky Cele said he was worried that schools and universities were seeing a growing number of sexual offenses. In general, property crimes were down, but there was an increase of more than 13% in carjackings. That is the much we have for you on News Across Africa, Daybreak Africa.
All right, welcome back. This is still Daybreak Africa here on television Nigeria. That's in case you just joined us. So now over to the dailies now. We'll go to the Tribune newspaper this morning. The big headline here says, federal government orders returning students to undergo temperature check. That's necessary. It's a very good step there. All right. I can barely see these headlines very well. Above the nameplate, tell your party to account for failed $460 million Abuja CCTV project loan. APC replies Atiku. That's on page 8. Beside that, Air Peace sacks 70 pilots, slashes salaries. That's on page 6. I mean,
Susan was talking about that.
Susan was talking about that. And he said it's as a result of the whole COVID-19 pandemic. All right, I'll take this last headline here. Nigeria's debt stock rises to 30 trillion naira. That's on page 6. You can get a hold of those stories and many more stories at the front newspaper of the Nigerian Tribune.
All right, let's take a quick look at headlines we have from the Punch newspaper. The banner headline from this national daily reads, published loan details of face legal action, NLC, TUC, others tell federal government. Nigerians facing harsh economic difficulties despite high accumulated debt. And that is coming from Labour and others. Still below that, APC, PDP trade words over $2.4 billion Chinese loan, failed $400 million Abuja CCTV project. Above the nameplate, we have Nigerians oil project threatened as IOC suffer $27.8 billion loss. And then NCDC tracking 11,000 COVID-19 contacts nationwide. Resumption, stay at home, FG tells students with cough, other symptoms. Don't let FIRS kill, bury, NIPOST, Postal Service chairman cries out. I'm talking about ordering students with cough and other symptoms to stay at home. And then we have exams beginning in a week time. Because
the reason why the school resumed and reopened is for those people to be able to sit for their exams and move to the next class, right? So if you're not saying that they should stay back home if they're having any of the symptoms like cough or catarrh, what's now the...
we really have to find a way around this. I remember something that happened when I was taking my WAEC way back, and there was this thing, somebody was ill, and the exam was taken to her in the school clinic. So maybe, are we going to see a case like that? These children will have to miss this year after spending money to register for this exam.
Yes, and after raising their hopes high that they can actually resume school now.
All right, let's take a look at a few more headlines from the Punch newspaper before we move on to the next national daily. Kalu Udogan Ibori disagree with Akpabio over alleged NDDC contract. And the man dies after a Benesi herbalist defraud family of 5 million naira. This is all we have from the Punch newspaper. You can pick a copy of the National Daily to get the details of this and even more.
All right, taking a look at the Punch newspaper this morning. The big headline here, published loan details of face legal action, NLC, TUC, others tell federal government. Nigerians facing harsh economic difficulties despite high accumulated debts. That's coming from Labour and others. APC, PDP trade words over $2.4 billion Chinese loan, failed $400 million Abuja CCTV project. Okay, that's on page 2 and 37 of the Punch newspaper. And you see the picture story there of, I think this should be a teacher checking the temperature of the students that have resumed, and pupils that have resumed school. And I'll take the story below the picture story here. Ogun Bokos reverses private students 25,000 naira COVID-19 fee. That's on page 7. Above the nameplate, NCDC tracking 11,000 COVID-19 contacts nationwide. That's a lot there. And that's on page 37. Beside that, resumption. Stay at home. Federal government tells students with cough, other symptoms. That's on page 2. So if your child has cough, catarrh, she or he has to be at home. I'll take this last story here. Don't let FIRS kill. Bury NIPOST, Postal Service Chairman cries out. That's on page 31. Well, take a copy of the Punch newspaper this morning to get a hold of that story and many more.
All right, and we'll now move on to this day newspaper with the following headlines. We take it from top to the bottom. In divestment move, ShopRite shops for Nigerian investors. Its reflection of business environment, says NECA and LCCI. Talking about the move by ShopRite, which was wrongly assimilated by so many people yesterday, thinking it was outright withdrawal or moving of the shops away from Nigeria.
Yeah, but now explanation and more light has been shedded on it.
All right, below that, Power Gencos reject Disco's demand for sector-wide forensic audit. And then we have Buhari writes Funtua's family says he was pillar of support. The banner headline from this day newspaper reads, Malami, Nigeria won't sign off its sovereignty for any loan, says contentious clause would be resolved. And then beside the picture story, governors to meet president over worsening insecurity. And we take this last one from this day newspaper. Oshomole, stepping on powerful tools cost me APC chairmanship. That happens to be the new code now when so many people's positions are being threatened, and then the next thing is like, because we step on toes. It could be true. We all know how things happen around here.
Yeah, we know that.
All right, that does it for this day newspaper.
Okay, moving to the Daily Times newspaper this morning. The big headline here above the picture nameplate: Oil gas sector crisis looms as federal government states relax more COVID-19 restrictions. That's on page 2. Below the picture nameplate: ShopRite, confusion, mixed reactions trail ShopRite's alleged exit. That's on page 3. There will be a clarification on that there. Now, beside that, insecurity can put pressure on federal government, state government over Southern Kaduna killings. That's on page 3. Corruption in cat and mouse game. Apabio searches for NDDC contractors. That's on page 4. And I'll take this last story here. That's the editorial story for the Daily Times. Partial closure of third mainland bridge. That's on page 12. The third mainland bridge is not going to open until in 6 months' time. Yeah.
Wow, that's actually a very lengthy time,
very lengthy
long period of time. And somebody was talking about the federal government would have used the lockdown period to do some of this repair.
At least it would just be probably half of the time left, and then it won't be costing to wait till 2021. All right, that does it for the Daily Times news.
All right, let's take a quick look at headlines from the Business Day with the following caption. The banner headline we have from the Business Day reads, more jobs at risk as ShopRite others pull plug on Nigeria. 3,000 direct jobs, over 17,000 indirect jobs at risk. And we talked about that as one of our major concerns for the day.
Yeah.
When we're talking about ShopRite and all that has to do with the proposed the investment and all.
And the thing is that if investors are not going to take over, then probably, most times you will see change of staff,
bound to be shake-up,
change of power.
All right, let's see how it happens. But at the tail end, the appropriate authorities should find a way of trying to see that it doesn't reflect so badly on the general
because
populace.
this is generally not a good time.
All right, and beside that, how Nigeria's monetary fiscal response to COVID-19 compares with peers. And that does it for the Business Day newspaper. You can do well by picking a copy of the Business Day for details of these stories and even more.
All right, taking a look at the Guardian newspaper this morning, the headline here: Nigeria misses out on COVID-19 vaccine trials. Only South Africa, Egypt participating in project. Experts fear phobia may scuttle efforts. Wow.
Talking about vaccine and all, I was hoping to see Madagascar there, but it seems that they are tilting towards more of a cure than vaccine.
Madagascar. That's on page 6. Right below the picture nameplate, the MUT PTF expressed fear as schools reopen today. That's a general feeling for everybody. Teachers vow to withdraw services if not protected. Schools, parents, students excited, ready for resumption. That's on page 6. And below that, why ShopRite is quitting Nigeria's retail market. That's on page 3. And beside that, airline sacks 75 pilots over financial constraints. That's on page 3. Senate report says NDDC spent 4.9 billion naira on medical checkup for themselves or for the people. That's on page 4. You check that out. Kaduna Christians threaten to defend selves. That's on page 5. We pray we don't come to that. Anyway, that does it for the Guardian newspaper this morning.
All right, and on to the next one, which happens to be the Daily Sun. And beside the nameplate, NDDC contract. Akpabio's new list sparks controversy. Kalu Ibori Udogan reply Niger Delta minister. Below that, money laundering. EFCC files additional charges against ex-AGF Adoke. And that story can be found on page 6 of the Daily Sun. And the big bold headline we have from the Daily Sun reads, schools in shaky resumption. Partial reopening in Lagos, other states. Anambra, Kaduna gear up to reopen August 5 and 10. Education Minister Pamsek tours schools. And the picture story, it's all about that of students resuming, and then I'm seeing some preparation with running water buckets and students trying to wash their hands properly, still regarding the picture story from the Daily Sun. And then below that, Senate probes bank over illegal withdrawal of 41 billion naira from Nitel MTEL accounts. And beside that, you have Igbo groups to stage 1 million man march against open grazing. Still beside that, account for failed $460 million Abuja CCTV project, $2 billion China loan, APC tells PDP. All of that can be found on page 3 of the Daily Sun. And then I'll take this last one that has to do with the most talked about ShopRite stories from yesterday till today. ShopRite denies pull-out rumor, says it won't abandon $30 billion investment in Nigeria. You can check that out on page 2. And when I saw that, I was kind of, I was feeling somehow regarding that when the statement read, it will be totally unwise for somebody to pull out of a $30 billion investment.
Yes, I mean, who pulls out from such an investment and just closes the shop just like that? No, it doesn't happen. They're just moving out for expansion.
All right, that does it for the Daily Sun. Let's move on to the next one.
All right, my final paper here. I mean, that's the final dailies this morning. The Nation newspaper. The headline here, governors protest nation's worsening security situation. To meet Buhari, service chiefs, attack on Zulum unwarranted. That's on page 3. Above that, Deputy Speaker, 16 other lawmakers back Ize Iyamu. Obaseki promises monarchs better days. That's on page 4. That's the inside story. Above the nameplate, NDDC's 6.25 billion naira palliatives diverted. That's on page 4. Beside that, crack in PDP Governors Forum over Ajayi's running mate bid. That's on page 2. Air Peace cuts pay by 40%. Sacks pilots. That's on page 2. ShopRite 6 Nigerian investors. That's on page 2 as well. And there's a picture story here. Leaders honoring Fasami at funeral service, paying their last condolence. That's on page 3. And that does it for the Nation newspaper this morning, and that does it for the dailies this morning.
And I will take you to our next package, which is a package on top 10 best cities in Africa. Let's go find out.
In as much as Africa is perceived as the poorest continent in the world, there are some cities on the continent that would make you want to have a second thought about the general perception. These cities can rub shoulders with some big cities of the world such as Madrid, Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires, Paris, and even Tokyo. Let's take a look at the top 10 cities that made the list of top 10 most beautiful cities in Africa. Luanda, Angola. Capital of Africa's second largest oil producer, Luanda, is home to the nation's main seaport and administrative center. In the past decade, this city has achieved the most developments among any city in Africa with the help of China International Trust and Investment Corporation (CITIC). Luanda is looking more like a Western country. Agadir, Morocco. Capital of Agadir, Ida Outanen province. Agadir is one of the major urban cities of Morocco. The city has been rebuilt after the 1960 earthquake. It is now Morocco's largest seaside resort, attracting tourists from all over the world. Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, Kenya's largest city and capital, Nairobi, is the most populous city in Eastern Africa, and it is one of the leading cities in Africa both politically and economically. Cape Town, South Africa. Cape Town is famous for its harbour, Table Mountain and Cape Point. It is the most popular international tourist destination in South Africa. Cairo, Egypt, the home of civilization. Cairo is Egypt's capital and the largest city in the Middle East and second largest in Africa after Lagos. This city was named the world's 24-hour city in 2011 by Badoo ahead of New York and Paris. Port Louis, Mauritius. The capital city of Mauritius, Port Louis, is one of Africa's main financial centers. This city is mostly overshadowed by its financial hub, tourism, manufacturing sector, and port facilities. This nation's languages include English and French. Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Former capital, richest and largest city in Tanzania, Dar es Salaam is the major city for both business and government in Tanzania. Nigeria's capital Abuja was built in the 80s before disposing Lagos as the capital city of the most populous black nation in the world by the administration of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, IBB, in 1990. Richest and most expensive in Africa.
Alright, welcome back. That was the top 10 best cities there in Africa. So that led us to our next package, to the 10 worst cities in Africa.
Welcome to Tunacheki and thank you for watching. If you want us to cover one of your topics, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. And make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our videos. And in this video, Tunacheki presents top 10 worst countries to live in Africa. This is based on different factors ranging from corruption, war, and economic difficulties. Number 10. Number 9. Number 8. Number 7. Number 6. Number 5. Number 4. Number 3. Number 2. Number 1. Did you like our list? Please subscribe and leave your comments and opinions below.
Alright, welcome back. Those were the worst cities in Africa. There.
And you know, I like the fact that the reasons why they had to make that category were given some for political instability, some for insecurity, ethnic crisis, war, corruption, and all.
All that. Alright. So that's the much you can take today on the program on Daybreak Africa here on television Nigeria. Many thanks for staying with us. My name is Mercy Joe.
And my name is Elvis Oga. Remember to join us tomorrow, same time, same place for another interesting outing. Until then, it's a bye-bye from us. Meanwhile,
we'll be leaving you with Amazing Africa.
25 facts about Africa. Stay safe. Do have a nice day.
23 amazing South Africa facts. Number 23, Mafati. The highest peak in South Africa is simply called Mafati and is on the border of Lesotho. It rises 11,424 feet and is home to some of the most scenic views in the country, as you can see from this photo. Number 22, the capitals. South Africa is the only country with 3 capitals. Pretoria, the administrative capital where the president lives, Cape Town, the legislative capital where the parliament is, and Bloemfontein, the judicial capital where the Supreme Court is. Number 21, South Africa states. South Africa is located on the southern tip of Africa, in case the name wasn't clear enough. It's made up of 9 different provinces or states: Northern Cape, Western Cape, Eastern Cape, Free State, Northwest Province, Limpopo, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, and KwaZulu-Natal. Number 20, Monarch State. Although South Africa is a democratic republic, in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, it has a king. He's considered to be the ruler of the Zulu tribe and is a direct relative of King Shaka. He doesn't mind living like a king either and has a large number of wives and children. In this photo, you can see him wearing the traditional clothes of his ancestors. Number 19, Lesotho. Lesotho is a landlocked country completely surrounded by South Africa and has somehow remained independent. Its geographical location separates it from South Africa and makes it the only nation that lies completely over a kilometer above sea. Number 18, ethnics. South Africa is home to some of the most diverse ethnic groups and tribes from around the world. Many people here resisted British colonialism. The first official language is English, but here they speak 11 languages officially. Number 17, the Zulu. The Zulu people are the largest ethnic group of South Africa, with over 11 million people who call the province KwaZulu-Natal. Their official language is Bantu. The Zulus were some of the most aggressive British colonists who tried to settle and defeated them in the Battle of Ulundi. Number 16, the Swazi people. Although most Swazi people live in the Kingdom of Swaziland, they tend to drift into South Africa and speak a language known as Afrikaans, as well as Siswati. Siswati is their native language, and they've been living in South Africa since the 1800s. They still nearly live the same way they did 100 years ago, believe in the ancestor worship and a supreme creator. Number 15, Setswana. It's the official language in Botswana and has Bantu origins. British missionaries had the difficult task of learning this language in order to convert the natives. Number 14. Geography. While certain countries may only have a few types of geographical features, South Africa has deserts, wetlands, grasslands, mountains, bush, and subtropical forests. Choose to travel here and you can see quite a few landscapes within a few hours. Number 13. South African resources. The British had good reasons to want to set up colonies in South Africa. The country is extremely rich in minerals, metals, and turns out to be a great place to make wine. 90% of the entire world's supply of platinum, and 41% of the world's gold is found here. Not to mention all the priceless gemstones that are well sought after. Sometimes the potential riches outweigh the risks, and this leads to underage workers like we see in this photo. Number 12. Diamonds. Diamonds were first discovered in 1867 on the banks of the Orange River. Although diamond production may not be exactly what it used to be 100 years ago, it still remains a leader in coming up with countless diamonds each year. A diamond here measured 51 millimeters long and is known as the Nyakros diamond. A man bought it for his wife for only $2 million, and it turns out it wasn't the best investment since they got a divorce. Ouch. Number 11. White lions. This rare breed of animal is found in South Africa, and it features an all-white coat. These are not albinos, but this is a genetic trait that is passed on by the Kruger breed of lion. It turns out that this genetic trait is caused from inbreeding. Some believe that white lions can't survive well in the wild, so they've been kept in the zoo for protection. Some still exist in the wild, and many tribes believe that the creatures to be godlike. Let's hope Kendall Jones doesn't make a trip here. Number 10. The African penguin. In addition to the white lion, South Africa is home to a unique breed of penguin that is expected to be extinct in 15 years, unfortunately. Due to South Africa's relatively close distance to Antarctica, these birds have migrated and enjoyed the adaptation to beach life conditions like we see in this photo. These birds go fishing for anchovies and are known to eat squid and small crustaceans. These penguins are often targets of vicious predators of diverse South African oceans. They're often eaten by orcas, sharks, and large seals. They then have to deal with land-based predation like mongooses, genets, and caracals. Some scientists believe that their main food source of anchovies has been extensively fished, and they've had trouble finding this nutritious food source. Hopefully we'll find a way to keep these unique creatures alive. Number 9. The Palace of the Lost City. If you thought resorts in Las Vegas were good, try checking out the Palace of the Lost City. It's a rather remarkable feat of architecture and features custom-built botanical jungles. With lavish pools, lakes, and hotel rooms, it would make for an excellent place to stay on vacation. Safaris are rightfully on the list for most people who stay here. Number 8. South African bungee jumping. South Africa's unique landscapes make it perfect for bungee jumping. It's home to the highest bungee jump in the world at 710 feet. The Blue Grons Bridge is located near Port Elizabeth and is probably somewhere you don't want to go if you're afraid of heights. In this photo, you can truly see how high the bridge is, and this experience most likely won't be forgotten anytime soon. Number 7. Shipwrecks. There have been over 2,000 shipwrecks off the coast of South Africa within the past 500 years. The Cape of Good Hope gets its name for the dangerous waters that sailors and explorers would try to go around. People would hope that people get past this stretch of water without any issues. As we can see in this photo, it's a beautiful piece of land, but a risky one to get around. Number 6. Rovos Rail. Considered to be one of the most luxurious trains in Africa, travelers can take a step back in time and travel like a royal safari enthusiast. They love the landscapes that come with the experience as well. The train ride includes a butler, all gourmet meals are prepared in the train, and only the best wines grown in South Africa. Number 5. Meteor Strike. South Africa possesses the oldest known crater and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Vreda Fort Dome is believed to be 4 billion years old and is about 15 to 20 kilometers or 9 to 12 miles in diameter. Here in this photo, you can see the vastness of this scar from the past. Number 4. South African farm murders. Although South Africa is a beautiful country, a recent trend of attacking farm workers has plagued the country. An astonishing total of 361,000 murders took place here between 1994 and 2012. The farm owners seem to think it's racially motivated, although the government believes it's mostly robbery. Many farmers have armed themselves in order to protect themselves from becoming a statistic. Some have gathered in the streets, hoping to bring more awareness to the issue. Number 3. Nobel Peace Prize winners. South Africa is home to many progressive and influential figures, but this unique country has 2 Nobel Peace Prize winners on the same street. Can you guess who they are? Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu both had properties on Vilakazi Street in Soweto. Here we see a photo of Nelson Mandela's house, which is now a museum. Number 2. Festivals. South Africa is home to some of the wildest and most colorful festivals in the world. For example, the South African Burn Festival took place in Karoo in the middle of the desert like we see in this photo. It strikes an eerie resemblance to the Burning Man Festival in northern Nevada with an African twist. 7 days of this event might be too much if you can survive. Number 1. Table Mountain. Table Mountain is believed to be one of the oldest mountains in the world and has a richer biodiversity than some countries. With 2,285 species of plants on this mountain, it has more than the entire country of the United Kingdom.